Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we have an update on the CV ReReWork as far as when Wargaming is planning on releasing it, and also an update to some additional changes and additions to that ReReWork and aircraft carriers in general. So we will be going over this DevBlog, which will be linked in the description down below. I'll be throwing any relevant images or artwork or videos up on the screen as we go through it. But again, if you want to check it out for yourself afterwards or read along as I read aloud, you can check out that description down below. And while you are down there, why don't you go ahead and drop a like and leave a comment before you click off of the video, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of these Warships update videos. I try to get these DevBlog videos out the day after these DevBlogs are released, which is as soon as I can get them up on the channel. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it. So the DevBlog is titled Current Status of Aircraft Carrier Changes and Closed Test of Tactical Consumables. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Very much like tactical squadrons, we are apparently getting tactical consumables with CVs, or at least they are testing the idea of them. So DevBlog says, Captains, we have worked on changes to aircraft carrier and AA mechanics for a while now to resolve the following systematic issues. Our main goals are to reduce spotting capabilities of planes and dispose of unintentional spotting, make AA defense more impactful at the time of its use, and keep aircraft carriers effective in battle. Extensive internal and public testing has led to the following conclusions. While we're satisfied with the overall results and remain committed to the concept, we've decided it needs further polishing, which will take extra time. Our scope of work includes improving UI elements, adding new visual effects, fixing identified bugs, and adjusting balance. Additionally, the test helped us identify several areas for improving the current concept. We've discovered that the new concept has room for new strategic mechanics. That led us to explore some ideas that we're now going to test. Be sure to check out those details below. To provide you more control over your defense against enemy planes, we are replacing automatic AA with a new manually controlled tool. To ensure that the changes are polished and well balanced, we've decided to postpone its release until 2026. At the same time, we want to begin implementing some changes on the live server to make quality of life improvements to aerial and related mechanics. Those changes aim to improve aerial spotting and visibility mechanics by making them more transparent and consistent, as well as providing aircraft carriers additional means to defend themselves. We'd like to share our current plans and outline the features that will be implemented in the near future. As previously announced, in Update 14.7, we will introduce several changes aimed at improving the gameplay experience of aircraft carriers, as well as other ships' interactions with them. While we're actively working on developing and improving the concept based on the results of the previous test, we're also going to test some new ideas aimed to enrich aircraft carrier gameplay, as well as a new AA tool. From 22nd July to 27th July, we will conduct a closed test of these new mechanics. Early next year, we are going to hold another public test. We will complete a series of tests, including the public tests mentioned above, to determine if the results are satisfactory. If they are, we plan to release these changes on the live server. Alright, that's the first section there. I just kind of raw-dogged through that. But anyway, so, going back to the top. Wargaming is apparently happy with the ReReWork. The ReReWork is, unfortunately, I don't have any more footage of it on my computer because the test was quite some time ago, and well, I needed the hard drive space. So the background match you're watching is the PT 14.7 client. So this is how carriers are going to work in 14.7 with what you're seeing in the background. So they're happy with the overall results of that new concept of the CV ReReWork. So that is apparently the version we are going to be getting. Now, the big takeaway is that, well, this is going to be postponed until 2026, which is a good thing. I am very glad they are taking their time with this new system. As we all remember, at least those of us that were around when the first CV ReReWork went live, it was very rushed, very unpolished, very much not done, led to a very frustrating time in the game. So, in my opinion, it's good that they're slowing down, taking a step back, and saying, hey, look, we need some more work here and there. We need to tweak some balancing changes here and there, you know, this, that, and the other. That is good, because while the second round of the ReReWork testing went very well, and I was happy to see, you know, like, the ideas and things that they were working with there. They were genuinely trying to, and they are genuinely trying to address our main complaints about CVs. I thought that was all good, but it's still very much needed work, especially with the balancing part of, you know, like the AA and planes, so, and the planes HP and all that jazz. So I'm glad that they are taking a step back and saying, okay, we need to, you know, take a closer look at some of these things, because there were still quite a few exploits that carriers could definitely use to, in many cases, to be stronger in that rework state than they are right now. So I'm glad they're taking a step back and looking at the balancing between CVs and surface ships. On the other hand, too, I also am glad that they are pushing through the changes that they are for 14.7. I think those changes are really good, and I think they bring about a nice nice bit of relief to the current CV surface ship interaction. So, which the next blurb is just they're going over the changes in 14.7. We've gone through those in details. In details, guys. I've been up since like 6, and this 10 o'clock right now. So I've been up and on the road since 6, I should say. So I'm sorry if I'm a little bit more flubby than normal. But anyway, so the highlights of the changes that are coming in 14.7 that you are watching in the background right now. So obviously, manual control of secondaries. Fires now only increase aerial detectability by 2 kilometers instead of 3 kilometers. All planes have the same detectability range of 10 kilometers, with the exception of the jets. And aerial spotting is no longer increased by the firing of your gun, so your bloom does not increase your detection range by air. And now all ships have the max base detectability range of 10 kilometers by air. So like battleships, large cruisers and such, if you had like a 13-kilometer air detect range, it is now down to 10 kilometers. And once you take like the module commander skill, you can get that down to 8 kilometers, which is very, very nice, very comfortable. Again, you can check out my video on that on the PT server. I think these are some excellent changes, which kind of brings me back around to the rework. I think like small changes like this, if they just keep tweaking what we have right now, I don't think you need the whole convoluted new system that we're getting with the rework, which if you want to know what that is, you can check out my rework video, which I'll pop up somewhere around here. So yeah, but either way, I'm glad they're taking a step back and they're saying, hey, look, we really need to get this right, rather than just ramming it through like they did the first time. So good on you, Wargaming, for that. Go get a cookie. Now, as part of the new round of testing, or I should say extended development time of this rework of these, I'm becoming a cartoon villain, tactical consumables, which they kinda tried these out a little bit back in the day when they were working with the tactical squadrons and like the chaff and such. So it's not entirely new, but let me just get into it. So this section, test of new tactical consumables. Previous tests have shown that there's room to introduce new strategic mechanics to aircraft carriers. Our aim is to make gameplay more varied and engaging while you're controlling planes and flying over the battlefield. So we want to give carrier players additional means to influence the battles and support their teammates. This is why we are going to start testing tactical consumables for aircraft carriers. If you're around for the Pinata Hunt, or even participated in Clan Battle Season 25, you may find the concept of tactical consumables familiar. Oh yeah, duh, I forgot about that too. Similar to support consumables, they occupy an additional slot and are activated via tactical map. So yeah, duh, Sealord, when they were literally in for the Pinata Hunt in that one season of Clan Battles. I don't know why I go back to, oh yeah, this happened like 3 years ago, so that's when they first started testing this, and then I forget they tested a more refined version of it not that long ago. But anyway, currently we are going to test 2 such consumables: Call Patrol Fighters and Call Smoke Curtain, with more types potentially added in the future. These consumables will work according to several general rules. You can activate tactical consumables while controlling certain aircraft. When you activate a consumable, Tactical Map will appear where you can select the area you want to apply it to. There's a distance limit for how far a selected area can be from the aircraft you are controlling at the moment. Once the consumable is activated, a specific marker, such as a signal smoke, appears in the selected area. This area will have 2 stages. Preparation stage begins when a marker appears in the area. At that moment, a preparation timer starts and it will be visible for both teams. Active stage begins when the timer runs out. At that point, the marker disappears and the effect is activated. The cooldown of a tactical consumable begins after the effect wears off. Okay, so they're showing like the smoke signal marker here in this little, what is it, GIF? Yeah, this little GIF here. Okay. The first one, call patrol fighters. Radical new consumable. This tactical consumable calls fighters into the area. They patrol the area, detecting and attacking enemy airplanes. A signal rocket will serve as a marker. When the marker timer expires, a consumable effect is activated. Thus, fighters will appear in the area and begin patrolling it without an activation delay. They will behave like standard fighters and won't be able to spot enemy ships. Okay, that's obviously quite good. Okay, so they show the planes, popping a flare. You get the little icon with the cooldown timer on it. And then the planes, I'm assuming, show up at the end of that cooldown timer. They don't really show the planes showing up. They just show the timer starting to tick down. Okay, so this is a little bit more useful than like the standard fighter consumable. Even though it looks like it does occupy literally the same slot as the standard fighter consumable, because you can obviously, just select anywhere in that radius around your ship, or I'm sorry, around your planes, and plop that fighter down, which that can be very useful, because how many times, as a CV player, you're flying towards one thing, but you see, Jim Bob over there, he really needs some fighter support because the enemy carrier is picking on him. But obviously you'd have to, stop, turn around, and go fly over there rather than flying towards your target. So now you can go ahead and just, use your tactical fighters and call them in over Jim Bob. And now Jim Bob has tactical fighters and AA support. So from that side of things, it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. But from the other side of things too, it's like, well, that makes it easier for CVs to just focus on murdering ships and doing a lot of damage. Which, yes, that is true, and that very well may be the intent behind, giving CVs this ability, since obviously their roles are shifting, pretty hard with the CV ReReWork. So there is very much that. From a playing CV side of things, obviously I like it, and if as a surface ship this means I get more, air support, and I don't just get bullied by the enemy CV without getting any support from the red CV, because the red CV doesn't want to stop, beeline toward his target to give me some fighters. Yeah, I'd like that too. Obviously, this is all very early. This is more of a, I guess I could say, a concept test than a a full-on play test. Which I guess we'll see if this makes it to that public test they're talking about in early 2026. All right, the next one is Call Smoke Curtain. This tactical consumable lets you create a smoke area at the specified location. A smoke signal will serve as a marker. When the marker timer expires, the consumable's effect activates. Therefore, a group of planes will appear bringing smoke bombs. They didn't really translate this that well. After these bombs hit the surface, a smoke screen will form. Please note the difference between tactical squadrons of American aircraft carriers of the Essex line and tactical smoke curtain deployers. In this first case, a smoke screen is set by the planes you are controlling in the area they fly over when you activate the smoke curtain generator. When using tactical smoke curtain deployers, you just select the area where you want the smoke screen, and AI-controlled planes will deploy it. Again, they don't really show the smoke actually being deployed. I'm going to assume it's just a generic puff of smoke, that fills up the area that you select. And it's not like, again, what you get on the Essex line where you can, kind of, craft your own smoke screen by flying, a certain pattern or whatever. You want to cover, these 5 ships. You want to make a path for your destroyer into the cap or whatever. You can do that with the Essex line. Can't do that here. So, okay, fair enough. I think that's cool, adding a little bit more depth to carriers, allowing them to support their teammates even more. I think that's fine. So that's this is a pretty good one in my opinion. So that's that. So both of these are not crazy, obviously. A slightly modified fighter consumable and a smoke. Cool, that's fine. Obviously, like they said, they can take this further, and who knows what we'll get. But these two, okay, cool. So, new AA tool. Test of a new AA tool, the final section of this devblog. Additionally, we are going to test a new AA tool, Aimed Fire, which replaces the previously tested automatic AA defense reinforcement. Like automatic AA defense reinforcement, Aimed Fire is designed to discourage enemy aircraft from repeatedly attacking the same ship, though it will function a bit differently. Aimed Fire will have special progress. Translation, not great. Aimed Fire will have special progress bar that fills under two conditions. When there's an enemy aircraft in the firing range of your AA defenses, when your AA defenses fire at an enemy aircraft, in that case, the progress bar fills faster. Once the progress bar is filled, you can activate Aimed Fire by pressing V to get temporary bonus to AA damage. Just like with combat instructions, if the conditions are not met for a certain time, you will start losing accumulated progress. All the ships in the game will get Aimed Fire, and since its role overlaps with modified defensive AA fire consumable, we plan to remove the latter. Aimed Fire will have improved parameters on ships that previously had modified defensive AA fire with enhanced parameters or in a separate slot, for example, American destroyers. Okay, so this seems to be a bit of a middle ground between the old automatic AA defenses, because before, obviously, if the enemy CV just flew into your AA bubble, that bar would fill up and it would not go down no matter what. So let's say you were, bouncing back and forth between several ships with your planes. Eventually, all of their all their AA defenses would, eventually fill up. And now, these four ships that you were bouncing back and forth between, well, they all have the improved AA damage mechanic, even though you weren't singling them out for an extended period of time, which this one clearly is, more along the lines of, you got to be picking on this guy for a little bit for that AA bonus to fill up. Now, it's also cool that you can hold it once you get it filled up, and then you can decide when to use it. That way, the CV can't be like, oh yeah, his AA defenses are up, I'm going to go throw my trash squadron at it to burn through it. Now you can save it for, like the Shinano AP skip bombers, or the Nakhimov skip bombers, or, the AP rockets if you are a cruiser or something, right? So I think that's pretty cool. That gives, more control back into the surface ship player's hands, and it balances the mechanic on the CV side of things as well. So cool. I like that change as well. So overall, in this devblog, pretty decent changes. Keep in mind, this is all still in testing, except for the 14. Well, the 14.7 stuff is still in testing too, but that is coming in the August update, which we are rapidly approaching. So, I'm glad to hear that they're taking their time with the CV ReReWork. I'm glad to hear that they are polishing some things. They're looking at adding in, a couple extra things to make CVs, more, because the CV ReReWork did take away, or it will take away with, the current state, the one that we've played, I should say, a lot of the teamwork aspect of carriers, a lot of the team support aspect, because obviously the spotting is being hella nerfed in the ReReWork. So adding in, these tactical consumables that, allow the CVs to interact with the friendly team a little bit more and support them a little bit better, I think that's pretty good, as of right now, too. So we'll see what comes of this. Again, all still in testing, can all very much change. But please let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about these changes? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Share your thoughts with us down below. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a wonderful Tuesday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.